Okay, we will go ahead and start with the load balancers. Um, so to do this lab, we need at least two domain controllers, sorry, two virtual machines. And these two virtual machines must be in the same availability set, without which we cannot put them behind the load balancer, right? So Sadiq, let's go ahead and create a virtual machine quickly. Let's click on
Yep.
virtual machines and let's deploy Windows Server 2012. Maybe Rajesh and Asgar, you can also do parallelly. So instead of me showing
Mm-hmm.
and then you going home and doing it, okay, let's do it right here, right? You're okay with this?
Yeah.
Okay. Select that famous Windows Server icon and Windows Server 2012. Don't select yeah, 2012 or 2016, anything is fine. Say create.
Well,
Yeah, always select Resource Manager. Create. And fill up the form, give it a name, user ID, password, resource group name, all of that.
like this would be a VM RAM, right?
Yeah, make it as web server 1. Give it the name as web server 1. It's very good. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you must be creating the other VM and also in the same region, physically.
Resource group.
Yeah, region, yeah. 7 GB is good, select. Now here, don't just click on OK. Yeah. The rest of them we don't have to worry, but the one that we are worrying about is availability set. So let's scroll down to right there. In high availability select section, select that and click on create new. Yeah, give it a name and say okay. Say okay. So the next VM that I will create, I'll put that VM as well in this availability set. Yeah. Click OK, please.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and create that. Okay, please check that box. Okay, I did that.
Uh,
Probably it's not needed. Okay, I was thinking of it as a agreement or something. We need one more VM. Can you delete this VM? We don't need this AD VM now, right? Because I don't think you can create
yeah.
uh, so many VMs. Because maximum number of VMs that is allowed in a particular region is 4 cores. So there's no number, but each machine, the total number of cores in a particular uh, region is 4.
I didn't get you, Anand. Come again.
Yeah. So how many cores does this VM have? 2 cores. If you are selecting 7 GB RAM machine,
Super.
it will have 2 cores.
Yeah,
The
it will,
first option that it has,
yeah,
it says 1 core and 3.5. So you can create 4 such machines.
correct.
So if you're creating 2
Yeah,
and 7 GB, you can create 2 machines. The total cores that is allowed per region
okay.
is 4 in free trial
Per per region.
per region.
What if I take a high-end configuration machine so I can create only one? Is that
Create
belongs to only the free trial or
for free trial only.
okay?
Okay, you can parallelly start to deploy an AVM. You know, go parallelly. Maybe tab, just say tab, 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 tab. Okay, still doing that. Okay.
So is that would be a different configuration? Okay, correct.
No, yeah, it's okay. They can be of different configuration. Absolutely, they can. It's all up to us. So did you put that in the same availability set?
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, now that one of the machines is on, let's RDP to it.
Right.
ADM underscore. I love that. ADM. They're following the standards, man. Okay, server manager, awesome. Now we have to install IIS because we want the web servers to be behind the load balancers, right? So let's
Yeah.
click on add roles in the dashboard.
Yeah.
Add roles and features. Next, next, next. In the roles section, select IIS. Scroll down. It should be third or fourth from the bottom. Yeah, fourth one. Select. Then you've got a box. Select that as well. And that's it. Next, next, next. Install. Nothing. Next. Install. Let's do the same thing for the other machine as well while this is running on.
Still deploying.
Hmm. But see if you can RDP. Sometimes you can. Um, how's it going? That's good.
I'm trying. I've not started it. I'm just watching.
Oh, you're watching the movie. Okay. Okay. Sometimes, because I've done it so many times in various trainings, tend to do it fast, right? So that's why I've approached this way, where you will be forced to do the lab, then you know what you're doing, rather than being lost later on. So yeah. No, we did not do all that. We just checked the first box, and then you got a pop-up.
No, it's not. It's not happening. I'm not getting. Hey, come on.
Cancel it, repeat. Cancel the whole thing, try. When in doubt, restart.
Then shall we create a load balancer?
Uh, so are you able to access this from the browser? Now that you made it a website, you should also be able to access it from the internet,
Should
isn't it?
be. What do you want it to?
Let me see the slash thing. So it's not working because your port number 80 is not open from the external world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not listening. So got to go ahead and modify the uh, network security groups.
It's not extensions, correct?
Network interfaces.
No.
Network interfaces. Click on that. Click on network interfaces. Click on it. Then you will see network security groups in that list. Yeah. Inbound. Click on it.
Hmm?
Now.
Yeah, I got it.
Let's do the same thing for the other machine as well. Okay.
Correct. 138.91.
How's it
Got
go?
it, Anand.
Sorry? Yeah, it works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah,
Let's go to load balancer. And I hope both of them are in same availability set.
the same.
Awesome. Let's click on add.
Yes.
And of course, we want to uh, make it a public load balancer and not an internal load balancer. Right? Yeah.
Anand.
Yep. Choose a public IP address. Create new. Yeah. Give it a name. Okay. We don't want to give it a public IP. Yeah, select. This was good. Same was good. Right. Let it validate. Awesome. Refresh it and then click on the hyperlink once it is ready. go for it. Okay.
Next.
Next, do you see the settings there? Settings. Look at this public IP
Yeah.
address. It doesn't have a public IP address yet, right? There is no public IP assigned to it. It just gives a name, public LB.
Yeah.
That's it. Huh? There's no IP
Yeah.
address. You will see that
Yeah.
it will change to IP address slowly once we are done with the entire configuration. Okay, let's click on one, the settings one by one. So we have to go to front end IP configuration, and then backend pools, then the health probes, and then the load balancing rules. Once we have set all of that up, that's when you will see a public IP. Now your front end IP configuration is already set up. It's already there. We don't have to worry about that. Let's click on backend pools. Now backend pools are like a list of servers, or pool of servers that are linked up to the load balancer. Click on it and then say add. Give it a name like backend pool or web servers. Just say something. And then in the drop down, select availability set. Now here you will see the availability set that you have in this region. Click on it and then add both of these machines one by one. Click on add target. In the drop down, select your VM1, then its private IP 10.0.5. Scroll down and then select the second machine as well, which is second machine, right? And then its IP, and then say OK. So you're done with the backend pool configuration. Click on health probes. All right, click on. It's still updating, so just give it some time. So we need to monitor our load balancer, right? So here the Azure load balancer is actually giving the capability to monitor the health of the server instances. It happens the same way in AWS as well. So by using this probe, you are monitoring the health of the servers that are behind the load balancer. So when a probe actually fails, the load balancer will stop sending connections to the unhealthy instance. So here we are defining the configurations and telling when not to send traffic to the load balancer. Sorry, traffic to the web server behind the load balancer. Your existing set of connections are not affected, but new connections are only sent to healthy instances. So here we are defining thresholds and parameters just to make sure that your traffic is not sent to the unhealthy machines. So yeah, click on add, give it a name, and now you have two options to set up. You have option number one, you can do a HTTP probe. Number two, you can do a TCP probe. A TCP based probe is probing on port number 80. So what it means is that with these existing settings, when it says that TCP 85 and 2, what it means is that if the machine does not or is not reachable on port number 80 for 5 seconds, and let me try that for 2 consecutive times. So if it is not reachable on port 80, I try that for 5 seconds and then I try it for another time, and then I will consider it as unhealthy. Not for the first time, but for the second time. Right? That's what the threshold is saying.
Okay. So what about the HTTP?
HTTP, now here you can say if a file is not available, so which is the path? It says path slash var slash www root slash index.html. If that is not available, then I will consider it as unhealthy. This is TCP is based on port number, but HTTP is based on file or a path within your website. And just say okay. Okay. Now go to load balancing rules. Once that is done, you should be able to add that. It takes a minute or two. I just muted you as well. Okay, give it a name.
Yes, Anand.
Yep. So here you are actually telling that load balancer is listening on what port. So I'm saying that, okay, my load balancer will listen on port number 80, and the pool of servers that I have behind the load balancer are also listening on port number 80. Right? That's what I'm telling it. That's it. And my health probe is that. In the drop down menu, you can select your health probes, you can select your backend pools. Right? Then there is something called as session persistence. That is there in every load balancer, even in traditional load balancers like F5, you had these session persistence. This was technically termed as stickiness or a sticky session. So a session persistence is refers to a client's request to go to a particular web server during a session. So if a client has made a session to a web server, it will go to that web server only, and load balancer will not redirect the route or the traffic to some other web server which is behind the load balancer. So once a session is made, it will go just there and nowhere else, is what it means, right?
Yep.
Usually these are maintained by cookies. So once you have a cookie on your machine, that stores information on your computer. Alright, now that you've created front-end configuration, backend pools, health probes, and load balancer rules, let's go click on the overview section in the load balancer. Scroll up to the top and then select overview. Alright, now that public IP address must change to a real number. There you go. Great, right? So what we will do now is go ahead and deploy something on the web servers. It is just giving some default IIS page, right? Yeah, go to those web servers that you have logged in and navigate to C drive, inetpub, www root folder. So the file that you see, which is istart.html, this is the file that is being picked up when you do http:// public IP information. This file picks up. Right click here and create a new text file, text document. Name it as index.html. Every time you create a website, any website that you go to, like facebook.com, you're actually going to facebook.com/html. When you're going to yahoo.com, you're going to yahoo.com/html, right? Now there's a problem here. It is not an IE, right? It's not an IE. So let's close it. Let's close it. And then on the top you have the view button, home, share, view, and there's a checkbox out there. Click on view.
Just one slow.
Okay, maybe this is the one with 3.5 GB RAM. There's a checkbox which says file name extensions. File name extensions. Check that, and Now see, it is index.html.txt. Remove that .txt thing from there. Rename it, and yeah, remove the extension. That's it. Now right click and edit the index.html. Okay, done, right? Now minimize the RDP screen. Minimize the RDP. Do you have this session open on this 40.ip address? What's the other next tab? What's the next tab? On the browser. On the browser. What's the next tab? IIS web
Next
server.
up, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, no, this is different one.
Yeah. Can you open that 40 dot something? So look at that. The change is actually reflected, right? Let's go to Google and type sample web page, sample HTML code or something. Sample HTML code, space code. The first link that you will get is from W3 schools. Let's click on it, and then click on the HTML document hyperlink right there in the middle of the page. Click on it, and then on the left side you see my first heading. Remove that my first heading. No, 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 no. See my first heading. Remove my first heading. No, no. Right, exactly. And type server one, server space one, and copy the whole thing. Go back to your server, paste it inside your index.html. Why is it I? Why is it? Yeah, okay. I muted you as well. Sorry. Now right click and edit. Right click and open with. Click on open with. There's an option called open with. Right up. And more options. Click on more options. There should be notepad. Double click on notepad. And paste it. Save it. Now go back to the browser and refresh it and see what you get. Right? Now do the same thing for the other server and say server 2. You could have just copied the file directly. Just copy paste the file here. You don't have to do, you know, just copy paste the file. Right, make it server 2 and save it and keep going. That right? Okay.
That and none.
Done. Now can you go back to the load balancer IP? Load balancer. Let's go copy the load balancer IP and paste it in the browser and see what you get. Right? Does that help you? Did you get the whole thing? The overview of what we try to do? Did you understand? You may
But
want
it's
to,
like every time it goes to server.
yeah,
If we
yeah, because it's
redirecting to server.
session based. So you
Yeah.
can try a different browser, use IE or something, or maybe Asgar can try your IP. Well, let me try your IP. Uh,
Got it.
right? Awesome. Super. Any questions you got, Asgar? Sadiq? The whole thing about the load balancer?
Nothing. Nothing. My VM started working. I've created 2 VMs in the AV set,
Right.
and I'll try the load balancer.
Okay. Super. But keep in mind that not all applications will be public facing. You may want certain applications that are internal facing. For example, a web application uh, might have
Mm-hmm.
a backend tier of again load balance transactions and applications. So a load balancer will have a couple of web servers, and that web server will have another load balancer in the backend, and that will be internal. And behind the internal load balancers, you
Okay.
may have uh, uh, a suite of database servers, like a two-tier architecture.
Right.
Okay. All right. So give it a shot, and we'll discuss tomorrow something else, like a web app or something. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Thanks.